So this is one of those things that we try to connect throughout the world, and we are training this way. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Liz Holloway, and I welcome everybody who have joined Zoom as well. The people here, Kayla, who is from our canvases, I think. Is that how you say it? Sorry, Kayla. And then we have Jackie Abraham from Irving, California. Jackie, where are you? Say hi. Okay. So I'm Liz Holloway. I got my sister Susan Chai. We got Stephanie Lee right over here, and we got Hong Kang over here who would be speaking. Susan is going to actually talk about the Laval company, and we're going to go through into talking about what the three-step system is. Most of you guys know what it is, but I thought it'd be better if we talk about it because some of you don't know. And then we'll go into stories, and we'll start off with Kayla, and then we'll go into Jackie, Susan, Hong, and then myself about the different stories that how Thrive has actually helped us. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Susan. And if you guys don't know about Thrive, Thrive is it's actually made by Laval, and Laval is like a very young company. It's maybe about 6 years old. So they started with a three-step system, like the vitamins, the patch, and the shakes. And so in such a short, like a 4-year span, they reached 2 billion in sale. So basically a lot of the products sell for itself. So I'm just going to review the 3 steps. So you have the men's capsules and the women's capsules. So these are basically your recommended daily vitamins that you can take every day. You take this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And literally within 10 minutes, you can feel yourself waking up, right? The difference between these vitamins as opposed to the vitamins that you take from the shelf is that these are pharmaceutical grade vitamins. So by pharmaceutical grade, it's pure in product. So the more pure the vitamins are, the better absorbed it is by the body, right? And so the ones that you buy on the shelf are cosmetic grade, and your body is only able to absorb probably about 30 to 40% of the vitamins. So these ones actually help you get your day going. 20 to 40 minutes later, you're taking these shakes. So I believe it comes in 5 different flavors, and these are for your gut health. As we all know, our gut is like a second brain. And so when you have an unhealthy gut, it can lead to like mood disorders like anxiety, depression, bloating, fatigue. And so it's loaded with pre and probiotics. So if you guys don't know about pre and probiotics, they work synergistically together. So one doesn't work well without the other. So this helps with renormalizing gut health. So that you take about 20, 40 minutes later, you can mix it with water, you can mix it with milk, coconut water, whatever you prefer. So the last line of vitamins is actually these the DRTs. So these are germ infusion technology, and it's basically vitamins infused to their skin. And so it's the same concept as like, you know, when you look in the hospital, you have like fentanyl patch, nicotine patch, it's all absorbed through the skin, and it actually bypasses your liver. So you get better like vitamins going through into your body. So the 3 lines are like, they work all together to give you the best results. So if you're not very sure which patch to go and use, you know, just go back to whoever referred it to you, and they can actually customize the appropriate patch for you. So, and that's it. All right. So Kayla, if you want to unmute yourself, this is Kayla. I'm not going to repeat where the city or where you are, but I'll let you introduce yourself, and you can talk about your story. So Kayla, take it away.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, can you hear me okay? Was that
Yeah,
good?
okay, we can hear you.
Jackie's giving me thumbs up. Okay, I think I'm good. Y'all, I am so stinking excited. I'm from Arkansas. So the fact that just with technology that I'm even able to be doing this right now, like it has me so excited. I am sitting in a living room in Canada. Like that's how I feel. And like I'm basically Canadian today. I don't even know what's going on. But I am so excited that I get to share my story. So basically, I've been thriving. I will be thriving for 3 years in May. So I'm getting really close to my 3-year mark. And guys, I never thought I would have tried Thrive. Like never. I had seen it on social media, but I thought it was one of those things that was just like a weight loss thing where people did it and they would try to lose weight. And I mean, to be honest with you, I had tried so many things. I had wasted so much money on things that just did not work. So I was like, nope, I'm not doing it again. Well, one of my friends shared her story and it was where it helped with her moods. And at that time in my life, I was at one of my lowest of lows where I just felt tired all the time. I felt crazy guilty for being tired all the time. I felt like I wasn't a good enough mom. I felt like I wasn't a good enough wife. I remember crying like every single night. It wasn't, I remember crying every once in a while. No, I mean, it was almost 6 months of just crying every day. And I remember waking up and just thinking, maybe today I won't cry. Maybe today will be an okay day. And it wasn't. And I mean, I was losing myself. And I questioned if this is how life was always going to be. And I just felt stuck. And I remember giving my daughter extra tablet time so I could take naps. And it was so bad. And so I reached out to Amanda, that was my friend. And I said, hey, I want the stuff for moods. I don't want all that other stuff you post about. I just want the stuff for moods. And she said, Kayla, it's the same 3 steps. Like it's the same 3 steps. It fills all of your nutritional gaps. Like it's the same 3 steps for everything. And I was like, I don't know. And she said, why don't you get a happy pack to try it out? And I was like, what is a happy pack? Like, what are you even talking about right now? And she said, you can choose a 3 or a 6 day just to try it out, see what it does for you. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. So many other companies I had even tried, like they would try to lock me into an auto ship where I couldn't get out and all this other stuff. So just the fact that I could try it, I was excited about. So she sent me, I think I got a 3-day. And so as soon as I woke up, I took my capsules, I waited my 40 minutes, I drank my shake, I put on my little sticker, and that was it on day 1. Day 1 for me, I was just amazed. I was done before I took my daughter to school. I was amazed that the shake actually tasted good because I don't know if you've ever tried shakes before. I had, and they tasted chalky and they tasted gritty and they tasted nasty. So the fact that this actually tasted good, P.S. strawberry is my favorite. I was just amazed by that. And I struggle with consistency. If you tell me I have to take something at lunch and at supper and midday and before I go to bed, it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm just going to be really honest with you. It won't. But if I can be done with this before I even take my daughter to school, before I even leave my house and I'm done for the whole day, that's something I can do. So that was it for day 1. Then day 2 happened. Day 2, I woke up, took my capsules, waited my 40 minutes, drank my shake, put on my sticker. Still everything was good. Got in the car to drive my daughter to school. And I still remember, I'll never forget, I was driving my daughter to school when it kicked in. And I started craving water. I started craving water like you would not believe. Like, and I don't drink water, so I don't have water with me. So I'm like, this is how I die. I'm going to basically be dehydrated, and they're gonna find me in my car, like because I don't have any water. I mean, I may be dramatic, I don't know, but that's how I felt in that moment. And I was like, this is it. But I get back home, I down my water, and just something was different. I did not go back and lay down that day. And I messaged Amanda and I said, hey, I want a 30-day supply. So what's really cool is you can customize your 30-day supply. So I customized it. I got all 4 different shake flavors. I got the variety pack. So I got vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and apple pie. I got capsules, and then I got the premium DFTs. And the reason why I did this is because at this time, I thought it was all in my head. I thought I wanted this to work so bad that it was just all in my head. And so I made my mom try it, my friends try it, my husband try it, and a few others. And they started texting me saying, hey, how do we get more? How do we get more? This is working. This is awesome. I feel great. My energy is amazing. How do I get more? And meanwhile, my experience is getting better and better and better. And so I'm like, y'all, I don't know. Like, I'll find out. Just calm down. I will find out. And I remember on day 10, I was sitting at the kitchen table with my husband, and I just looked over at him because I was running out and he knew it. I think I was out. And I looked over at him and I said, I'm so happy. And he was like, I know. And I know a lot of people may not relate to that, but it had been so long since I just felt happy. It had been so long since I just, felt like that person again. And I felt like I had got my life back. And what really killed me was he said he could tell a difference. But when my daughter, who was like 6 at the time, came up to me and she said, Mommy, please don't stop taking that. Like, please don't stop. And I mean, that was it for me. And so on day 10, he said, well, how are you going to get more? And I told him, I said, well, if I have 2 friends that get it, then I get mine for free. So you're going to order and my mom's going to order and I'll get mine for free. And he just looked at me and he's like, Kayla, you know so many more than 2 people that need energy, that need mood support, that need to feel good, that, are struggling with the same things you're struggling with, and they just won't say it, that they're just living with it in silence, just like you were. You know so many more people. And so I was like, okay, you're right. And that's why we hit the promoter button. And guys, I kid you not, like I have been sharing my story ever since that day. We have been getting those happy packs in as many hands as we can. And I mean, it has just been a whirlwind of how much our life has changed, not just because of the products, but the business side too. I mean, within our first 30 days, by just getting those 3-day happy packs, 6-day happy packs out, our team did $80,000 in sales. It was crazy. But we just knew with a product like this that we could stand behind with how it was changing lives. We knew that this was the rocket ship we wanted to get on. And it's crazy because it's still just blowing up and exploding. And thank you so much for having me on here to share my story, because like I said, since that day 10, I'm like, I'm going to share my story as loud as I can, wherever I can. This is my first time basically sitting in a living room in Canada sharing it. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Kayla. Thank you, Kayla. You're welcome to stay on Zoom if you want and listen to all our stories. And I definitely want to take pictures of all of us together with everybody on Zoom meeting as well. So please stay on. Okay, so next we have Jackie Abraham, and she's from Irving, California. Jackie.
I'm here, but how do I follow that? That's amazing, Kayla. That's my first time hearing your story.
All right, take it away, Jackie.
I don't know where to start now. So everybody, if you don't know me, I'm Jackie. I am the mother of 7 babies. My oldest daughter is 22, and I've got a 10-month-old baby here at home. So I've been thriving now for about, I'd say about 9 months, coming on to 9 months in the middle of the month. And I'd have to say that from day 1 up until today, I still feel as amazing as I did on day 1. So I am a day 1 thriver. So my story is similar to a lot of others out there. And the one thing that I just realized before I even start my story is people just need to admit why they need to start. Like, why do I need this? And for me, it was a lot of things. A lot of the things that I was feeling at the time that I did start was something that mothers normally say that they feel. They think it's normal to be grumpy because you have kids. People give you excuses. You're just getting older. I heard it all. And I took those as my excuses to continue my life every day as I did. I was grumpy. I was cranky. My friends tell me they yell at their kids all the time. So, hey, I thought it was normal. But you know what? Once I found once I started my Thrive journey, that all changed. So I was an emotional wreck when I started. I was in a very dark place. I recently moved to California in February. I was about 7 months pregnant. I left 4 of my kids out in Canada. It was a hard time for me being away from home. I was very mentally unstable at the time. And then when I got here to California, I had complications in my pregnancy. So 4 weeks of just being afraid of what I was going to go into, ended up with a C-section a month later. Nonetheless, it turned out really well. I have a 22-pound baby now. He was born a month early, but super healthy now. But soon after that, when I was in Canada, I had a lot of help. I had my mom who was always with me. So when I was here in California, I had no kids. My kids are always there for each other. So having a little one and not having their older siblings around was really hard for me. And then I would never want to get out of bed. Poor baby is crying and mom is just lying in bed. They say, let your kids cry. It's good for their breathing. But you know what? It really isn't, because they're little babies and they want to be cuddled. They want to be loved. And I felt like I wasn't doing that. So, at the time, it just all of a sudden, in a span of like a week, when I was starting to feel this way, I started to see Thrive on social media. And because I had the C-section, I had to see my doctor 2 weeks after my C-section. So when I did, she basically said 2 weeks after giving birth that I was suffering from postpartum depression. And I said to her, I said, what is that? Like, I've had 6 kids before, never experienced postpartum depression in my life. And she said, you know what, you probably did, but didn't know it, because I'm a very strong person at heart. I don't like to admit that I have anything wrong. And if a doctor tells me that there's something wrong, I'm going to fix it myself. I don't need the medication that you're going to give me. I work in pharmacy. I've been teaching in pharmacy for 10 years. I know what this stuff can do to you. So when I first saw Thrive, it was a lot about weight loss, and I was like, hey, this is not going to work for me, until somebody posted about energy and motivation. I wasn't really in it for weight loss, although there are often times that I wanted to lose weight, but really that wasn't my focus at the time. It was a lot about, I wanted to be there for my kids. My kids were transitioning into a new neighborhood, into a new school here in California. And I couldn't be the grumpy mom, because I had to be there for them. I had to be there to support them in a new city, in a new school, and then help them make new friends. But how do they make new friends when they have a grumpy mom at home? So they're going to go to school grumpy. So then I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading. I forwarded ingredients. I forwarded every Thrive product information sheet I could find to fellow pharmacists. I even brought it to my doctor. I had one person who had a friend who was a doctor and said, don't take it. And I was like, okay, but you need to tell me why. They couldn't give me a real reason why. They called it a scam. They called it a magic pill, these things that never, ever work. But you know what? I'm the type of person, you need to tell me why. What is the ingredient in here that's not going to work for you? So I finally decided one morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to try it. So I met my sponsor, and all I wanted to do was just start. I'm in California, so I didn't really know anybody out here who was thriving that could give me the happy pack. So I ordered the 30-day supply right away. And I got my package on a Friday afternoon, and I just wanted to go to bed and start my Thrive journey the next morning. There was just so much good things I was hearing about it. And the one thing that I could really appreciate through this whole thing is no one ever sold me anything. They all just want to help me, whether it's my sponsor, whether it's my upline, whether it's everyone who's working the business, they just want to help each other. And that's one thing I really needed at that time. I really needed support. So the next morning I woke up, I started my Thrive. I took my capsules, I took my shake, and then I put my patch on. And I don't know what was going through me, but I felt it immediately. And maybe it's because, and everybody's different, I don't take meds. So the moment you try to give me something, I'm probably going to feel it. So that afternoon, I go for my massages. I try to go at least once a week. That's my me time. My massages are my me time. And you know what? During my me time, I nap. Me time is supposed to be something fun, but I nap. But that afternoon I went for a massage. I just could not. I could not take a nap that afternoon. And I messaged my sponsor. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I feel like I'm not even gonna get to sleep tonight. So the next morning I woke up at 9:30. It was Sunday, and we were supposed to go to church. And my husband's really good. He does everything for me, or actually I should say he did everything for me prior to my Thrive experience. He would get the kids ready. He would never complain. But now I feel great because now I can help him. So that morning I woke up, I got the kids ready, and then he woke up and he's like, you're ready to go? So all the kids are ready. By 10:30 we were out to church for the 11 o'clock service, and he didn't have to help me that day. that was day 2. So day 3 came along, did the same thing, got everything ready. My whole day, I had my whole day. I did my laundry, did all my chores by noon. And then he came home. And this was the biggest thing for me, is because my husband doesn't say very much. But that day he came home, and I asked him how his day was, and that made a huge difference. And he said, because he says normally, and I didn't know this until after the Thrive experience, he told me that he would come home from work, and I would be angry and ask him where he was. But really, he was working a long day at work. So from that day on, I knew that this is the change that I needed in my life, not only for myself, but for the kids. So that's kind of just a gist of my story. But I can tell you now, I have enough energy throughout my day. Not only that, but I feel amazing. I have always been like borderline something. I'm not making any medical claims, but I went for my blood work about 2 months ago, and everything is normal. Even on the days I feel like nothing is normal, everything is normal. And you know what? Now that I feel great, I have this new type of confidence that I feel like everybody out there needs. And I know my older daughters, they make fun of me now because now I take selfies, I take photos, and they're like, what are you doing? And I said, you know what? I feel amazing. I feel like you do when you guys take selfies now. So fast forward to today, I can get up in the morning. We all make lunches together. We all have dinner together. No one is napping in the middle of the day. No one is tired. And actually this afternoon, I'm in a semifinals game because I'm coaching my daughter's basketball team now. So I coach 4 times a week. We go to basketball 6 days a week, and I still have energy up until 11 o'clock at night. I work from home. I help my friend at her dental office for 9 hours a day. I come home and I'm working on my laptop. It's like I said, it's been an amazing journey, and I can continue to share my story for as long as I can, just to help others out there. And I want to thank Liz for having me on again today, share my story.
Thank you, Jackie. All right. Next up we have, you want to go, Hong? Sure. And we have Hong, and she'll tell her story. For my old in here. So that's such an amazing story, actually, from Jackie, because I just 7 kids, wow. But I love hearing everybody's stories, and then also kind of finding that they kind of relate to you as well, because I have my 2 daughters here, my 2 younger ones, because I'm a mom of 4, and I really felt that everything changed when I found out that I was pregnant with my 4th as well. So I had a really difficult pregnancy that ended up in a very complicated delivery and surgery. And then thinking that that was all the end of it, she ended up being one of the most challenging babies out of my 4. So she was colicky, she didn't sleep well, she was in and out of the hospital. So it's just like a big transition from 3 to 4 for me, right? So I was kind of like that, you kind of think that, this is mom life, right? I have 4 kids now, so I'm going to be tired, I'm going to not sleep well, I'm going to be cranky, I'm going to be grumpy all the time. And I remember that year, that's when actually my husband, he was kind of like, traveling a lot for work. So a lot of the home stuff was me and just the 4 kids. Thank God for my mother-in-law. She was there for me to help me during the day, but nighttime was me. And for me, it was just driving the kids to school, to their activities all by myself, helping them with their homework. So I remember just kind of realizing that there was like a good few months where I wasn't really feeling like myself, right? So everything was kind of catching up to me when the kids were kind of feeling a little bit more like they needed me more. And I just remember just not being happy all the time. So just being really, really emotional, right? Just everything was just so overwhelming. I ended up, because I was not sleeping during the night, I would actually spend most of my days sleeping, right? Because I had my mother-in-law to help me. If the baby was napping, I would nap and stuff like that. So that kind of actually lasted for a good 3-4 months. And I remember there was a good time in my life where I was very productive. I was able to go out and do things. But when I was finding that I was kind of sleeping away my days and just did not have the motivation to get up in the morning, that's when I realized that something was a little bit off, right? And of course, my dear husband, he's always been like such a great support, but he was always around, always helping me and stuff like that. But I remember just constantly fighting with him every day because I was just pissed off at him for no apparent
reason, right? Because of course I was tired, right? So everything that he tried to do, it was just not enough. So it was just, went from picking fights with him every day, snapping at the kids, like, every morning. And this is my biggest moments where I felt like something was really off was just, when you're sitting down and trying to help the daughter with their homework, right? And you just have no patience and you just completely snap at her. And then you run into your room crying because it was just too much, right? Because you're like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you sit here and just like do this with her? So I just knew that something was a little bit off. And I remember like, if he was trying to, well, maybe we should go look at the doctor, but I'm very proud. Like, I don't like to go visit doctors. So I kind of just like left it, right? I heard about Thrive, or I've seen Thrive, right? And to me, when I first heard about Thrive, it was a weight loss thing. So a lot of the girls that were kind of sharing on social media and stuff like that, it was just a weight loss thing. So it just never really caught my eye. So it was when we went to a family wedding in Hawaii. It was our first trip as a family of 6. And I remember on that trip, one of my cousins, she just started her Thrive experience, right? And she was just recently going through divorce. She had 3 boys traveling alone. And I remember seeing her. And to me, it's just the energy that she had. And here I was, like, I actually had, family there with me. But I remember always wanting to go back and nap with Peyton, right? When everybody was still kind of going out and doing things, just like, you know what? No, I didn't. Like, I didn't want to go do it, right? Even when they would kind of spend times out at night and stuff like that, I'm like, no, I'm just going to, like, call it a night, right? And so I kind of just, like, let it be. And then it wasn't until a few months after that, again, like, because when we came back from the trip, all those things would happen again, just, like, sending the kids off to school, crying and, like, and everything like that, and picking fights with my husband. Then I finally just reached out to my cousin and go, hey, you know what? Because I saw her post something about energy. And I felt that my excuse of the reason why I was feeling the way that I was feeling is because I was just so tired all the time. Like, I literally could not get out of bed. The house was just like, the laundry was being piled up, the floor hadn't been swept in like, weeks and stuff like that. And I think just for me, it's just like, if I can just get up and not nap and have the energy to do all these things, I wouldn't be so stressed and overwhelmed. So it was totally the energy thing for me. So my cousin was able to get a 7-day sample pack, and that's when I tried it. So I was really excited about it right away, and immediately the next day I tried it. So I woke up and I took the 3 steps as I normally was, and I kind of went on with my day. So usually what happens before when I used to wake up, because I would wake up at the last minute. So, the last minute, like 7:45, and the kids would have to be out the door by 8:15. So you can just imagine the rush of getting kids ready and out the door. And I would come home and I would nap if I could. But I remember that day that when I took it, I came home and for some reason I didn't feel like napping. And then I realized like the 3 loads of like baskets of laundry that were sitting there, and I just looked at it, I'm like, okay, that needs to be done. So of course I just, put that all away. And once I was done, then I kind of looked over at the washer and I was just like, oh, the washer needs to be cleaned. So I literally cleaned the house that was untouched for, I want to say months. It's embarrassing, but it was probably months because I just did not have the energy to do it. I cleaned the whole entire house in that one day. So I knew right then and there, like, wow, there's something in this. So I did complete the 7-day sample, and it was by the 3rd day that I just kind of noticed things like where I wasn't drinking coffee anymore, because coffee was my go-to. That was my energy booster, right? So it was like, 1 in the morning before I start my day, and throughout the day, like 2 or 3, just to kind of get myself in. But again, I was still taking those naps, so obviously it wasn't really doing anything for me, right? Now I was on mat leave during this time, so for me, after the 7 days, I did notice I was waking up now. Like, I was waking up before the alarm went off and things like that. But because I was on mat leave, I didn't order right away. So this was my tester here, because for 2 weeks, I didn't order anything. I knew that it worked for me, but again, it was just like, oh, money, so I didn't take it. And I think I was just kind of like waiting for like a promotion or something like that. And I remember the 2 weeks wrapped up, and then I kind of slowly started getting back into my own days again, started getting very short with the husband, getting like, snappy with the kids. And I remember one day, I forget when it was, but I was dealing with something for the house. And I eventually, and then I went to like a huge, like, who was at work, and it was something I had to end up calling him. I went to like this huge fight over the phone. And I remember just like coming home that day, just constant crying. And then I called my cousin that actually gave me the initial sample. I was like, it's coming back again. Like all those emotions that I was experiencing before, it's all coming back. And I'm like, I need to get this, like, what do you see? And then she's like, and obviously she couldn't really help me. She's like, we just gotta order them, babe. So then, you know, again, like, you know, she's always been really, really supportive. And, you know, so I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I think there's something in this. Because I'm like very skilled. I've never taken anything before. And the only reason why I jumped on it was because my cousin's very health conscious. So I knew that she was like, she would have read the ingredients, knew what it was all about. So I just kind of jumped on it, right? So I ordered that. And then from then, so when I took it then, there was no looking back. So it's almost 2 years of thriving for me now. And honestly, it's been, to me, I feel like a complete life changer. Just the way that my mood is and the way that I am able to handle my 4 kids. I realized there's like, you know, as I continued on to take it, and the funny thing is I didn't even know what the hell I was taking for months, right? I just knew that it worked so well for me, right? And I remember just telling people, just I don't know what's in it, but you know what makes me feel good, right? So I just continued on taking it. And just like, you know, throughout the months that kind of passed on, I just noticed things like, you know, I remember, you know, just talking or like getting into a disagreement with my husband and just like realizing that I wasn't yelling anymore. I wasn't short. You know, I was having a lot more patience with the kids. And the biggest thing was just like starting to wake up and not wanting those naps ever again. So, and then I started, you know, and for me again, it was just all the energy. And that's what really, really sold it for me. But then I didn't realize that there was like so much more to it. So then eventually I would kind of learn that, you know, there's a whole gut health, you know, experience that you get with it. So then my digestive system, I felt like after the pregnancy was completely messed up. And all these things kind of probably related to how I was feeling because, you know, it was just, you know, I was constantly bloated, cramping all the time. I remember just like lying down in bed and just feeling cramping. Everything, all of that is just, I feel so much lighter. And that's one of the other biggest things for me. So the biggest game changer for me to start experience is definitely the energy and the digestive support. Where I feel I'm like, you know, regular, I'm just lighter, and it's no bloating and things like that. And just overall now it's just like keeping up with the 4 kids. But yeah, that's our story.
Well, thank you, Mom. So the next story that we have is my sister. I'll let you go. So my story is a little bit different. I actually went into early menopause at the age of 36. And so not too many people do that. I think you get like 5% that actually go through it. And I had to be put on hormones right away. So with the hormones, every year after that, I gained weight. I've always been healthy. I went to the gym. You know, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose it. It became like a losing battle. And so when I started Thrive, I mean, Lena introduced it to me and I was quite skeptical and I didn't know if it was going to work. And I just thought, you know what, it was to the point where I'm just like, you either do it or you don't. You just kind of just take the leap of faith and you just do it, right? And what I did notice is that, you know, the longer I took it, yes, the weight was coming off and I'm like 23 pounds lighter than it was a year ago. And, but I've been working as a nurse for 23, 24 years. I actually didn't even realize how abnormal I actually felt. And I think you go through the motion of, you know, living the nurse life, you know, flipping from days to nights, nights to days. And it became like that, like that's the feeling that you get, right? And that tiredness, I couldn't believe got so much better the longer I took it. And so the energy came back. I've noticed that with my gut health, the bloat just went away. I was sleeping better, and then the mental clarity kicked in. And it took a while. I was never day 1, day 5, day 10. It took me about 3 weeks for it to actually kick in. And when I did, it was just, that's it. And then, you know, after the 8 weeks, I didn't turn back. So, yeah, so it's just made my life easier as a nurse, as a mom, and, you know, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Susan. Okay, I was not going to try to cry, but I'm going to keep going. My name is Liz. I work full time. This is not easy.
I worked full-time as a corporate world in the federal government. I'm a legal assistant and I hated my job. The reason why I started thriving was because I was not in my happy world. I was always a terrible mom, and I was always tired about not being able to create. I'm a working mom during the day and an artist during the night. And when I was too tired to do everything else, my artwork went completely gone. And I couldn't do anything else but to live my day, Monday to Friday, from 5 o'clock to 5 o'clock at night. And I'm in bed by 7:30. And so it was not my life. Being an artist is my life. Sorry. I knew I was going to cry, but yeah, no, being an artist is my whole life. I've never liked being a legal assistant because I knew the last 2 years I was on the edge of working so much overtime. I didn't have to sleep. I didn't have my family time. The family means a whole lot to me. Oh. And so when Susan introduced the Thrive experience to me, it was a whole game changer. I was a stage 3 thriver, and I couldn't believe the energy that I got. I was not looking for weight loss or anything like that. It was more of an energy. And so when I took my step 1, step 2, step 3, I kept on saying to Susan, did you take it? Did you feel anything? And she didn't feel anything for 10 days. And I go,
3 weeks.
3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Sorry, 3 weeks.
And so I knew something was going on because when I was traveling for my Stampin' Up stuff to Florida, I said, I need that stuff. So I ended up buying it for a whole month of worth, and my product got lost in the mail. And I couldn't believe it. I said that I need that stuff for Florida because it's 3 hours away, 3 hours time difference. And so I said, okay, Lena, come in. I don't care. Give me 2 weeks worth of stuff because I don't know where the heck my stuff went to. And so when I got to Florida, it was like I was constantly doing like 3 steps. And everybody was saying to me, "Go, wow, where did all this energy come from?" And I said, "It's just my vitamins." And so when my product finally came after a month of delaying order, I just got stronger and stronger. My mental clarity came back. I started designing. I started teaching again. And that was where my happy place was. I'm going. So, anyways, yeah, I'm really grateful for Thrive and grateful for Lavelle for creating all this stuff. And so, anyways, that's all. Yeah, so we have Stephanie Lee who's going to talk about the business part of it, about how you can obtain Thrive for free. There are other benefits to go with it too that I will let her talk about.
It's just so amazing to hear like new stories. I've heard so many new stories. This is so awesome because honestly, it's so life-changing in so many different ways for so many people, and it's just amazing. And the great thing is that yes, you can get it for free. So if you have 2 friends that want to thrive with you guys, so 2 referrals a month, you're getting your product free for that next month. And that just makes it easy for everyone to thrive, and you're going to want to share it because you're going to feel so good, and people are going to ask you, what are you taking? Because I know that for me, people really saw a change in me, just like energy-wise and just patience. They're like, how are you so patient? And I was like, well, you know, I feel good, right? I feel good, I have energy. So that's the great thing about this company is that you can get it for free, okay? So they also have an amazing sign-on bonus, okay? So as soon as you sign on as a promoter, you can actually, if you can get 2 friends to thrive with you and 2 friends that want to thrive with you and maybe make some money, there's your first sign-on bonus, okay? So you're getting $520 Canadian plus $130 in product credit on top of your Thrive for Free credit. And you can get that within your first 3 weeks in Canada, first 2 weeks if you're in the States. And then that's your first bonus. If you can double that in the 3 weeks, so 4 friends that want to thrive with you and 4 friends that want to thrive and make some money, you're doubling that. So your bonus is $1,040 plus double the credit. And that's just your first bonus. So also you're getting commissions on top of that as well. So your second bonus is called the iPad bonus. So if you can get to the first rank of the company, which is 4K within 30 days, you're going to get an additional $520. We just call it an iPad bonus. You can do whatever you want with that cash. They used to send you an iPad and they don't do that anymore because it just got too much. So those are your first sign-on bonuses, okay? Then when you get to the second rank of the company, which is 12K, Lavelle will actually pay for a luxury car for you. So they will actually give you $800 US or $1,040 per month just for hitting the second lowest rank of the company. And I don't know if you're familiar with MLMs or like network marketing companies, but I've definitely heard of some, you know, most of the time you have to be at the top rank or very, very high in sales, like, you know, you're selling 6 figures to get a car paid for. And I don't know, any 9-to-5 job that normally just pays for your car if you work hard. I mean, some people can attain this 12K bonus in a month, some 6 months, some a year, but that's a lot better than, you know, any other kind of corporate job, right? So that's an amazing perk. And if you choose not to have a car, that's totally okay. Lavelle will actually give you an extra $400 into your bank account. You can spend it on whatever you'd like. So those are just some really cool perks. We get paid 12 different ways, but I won't go through like every detail with you, but they do spoil us. They give us bonuses all the time. And also, they also like to take us on 3 vacations a year. So you can earn these vacations. They're completely, like they're all inclusive, they're amazing. And they're just vacations. And you can bring a friend as well. So you can bring your husband, your best friend, your sister, whoever you want to bring. And you don't have to go to a seminar. It's just come, play, enjoy, be with your team. So that's 3 times a year as well. There's just so many perks to this company and they just take care of us so well. So yeah, and we get paid every Tuesday. We get paid every Tuesday. So, you know, honestly, whether it's a side hustle, you want to do this full time, like you can work, thrive into your life. Like, you know, there's so many people from so many different walks of life. Some still work full time. Some people have, you know, 7 kids. Right? So you just work this business whenever you have time, but you're gonna wanna share it. And the way I see it is, if there's something amazing that's going on in my life, I wanna share it. Whether it's an amazing restaurant or an amazing TV show, Netflix. We talk about this stuff all the time to our friends. So for me, something so life-changing as to thrive and just feeling good, you wanna share that with your friends. Like, and that was what it was for me. I just wanted, I couldn't keep it to myself, right? So, and, you know, who knew that just by sharing this product with friends and family and just, you know, sharing the happiness, it would lead to, you know, a 6-figure career or a free paid for car or vacations, right? So the opportunity is open. I mean, you know, this is kind of the way that the world is going, right? So, you know, you see a lot of big businesses closing down because everyone's kind of going into the online world. And that's the beauty of this business, is that I can do it on my phone. You know, my daughter's 3 now, but when I first started driving, she was only 1. So I mean, I worked this business watching her when she was napping, you know, when she was sleeping. I just worked this business, but I was able to stay home with her. And that to me was like worth more than anything, right? So definitely, you guys, like, it's an amazing opportunity, and you know, it's something definitely worth looking into.
That concludes the end of our drive. But before the Zoom people don't go away, because what we want to do is we want to gather everyone and we're going to take pictures and show it off for the social media. So if you guys want to come over and then we'll let you guys go after that. Okay. Yeah, Kayla, you can Zoom as well.
Welcome to Canada, Kayla.
Oh, I see.
Do we have to move over that way? No. Okay. Yeah. Everybody got their picture profile on? Show your pictures. Turn your profile on. Can they see it? I'm a double. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more.
Awesome.
Thanks, you guys. Get your phone ready. We're gonna say bye.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. Bye. Okay, Manuela, and before you guys go.